All right, guys, welcome into Lucky Top Sports. Man, what a show we have tonight. Man, Tennessee advancing to the Sweet 16 after a huge victory over the Texas Longhorns. Horns down for all my boys out there in Austin. Especially Big Texas. He's not going to be joining us tonight. I think he's lost out at some rock concert somewhere in New Jersey. So shout out to Big Texas. Shout out to all the Barnes bashers that we've had over the last few weeks, even myself included. I've been a little contentious when it comes to Coach Barnes, but hey, he was able to take down his old school and moving on to the Sweet 16. And man, we don't know who we're going to play yet. Creighton is in a barn burner of a game, and that's who I have going into the Sweet 16 to play Tennessee. But more to follow on that as March Madness continues. But Rome, how's things? How are things out in Austin, Texas? Now that the Longhorns are no longer a participant out in the NCAA tournament.
Let me take a look out the window. Oh, is that a fire? Oh, no. I see burning cars. Oh my God. 6th Street is quiet, but the cars are burning. No, yeah. I'm sure. I mean, it was a disaster of a game, I think, for Texas. Not that many people, I think, expected anything good out of them, perhaps. I mean, the expectations are always high here in Austin for anything that Texas does. I mean, but I think from the rest of the basketball world, and as we saw with the game spread, Tennessee being favored by 6.5 points, I think the expectation was that Tennessee will take care of business. And for the most part, they were taking care of business, right? Really odd collapse in the end to take the money away from, unfortunately, all the Tennessee backers. They might be happy that the team is advancing, but their bookies are even happier.
I'll tell you, man, I did not have Tennessee covering. I had Tennessee money line. So
that's good.
Fool me once, shame on me. Right?
No, it's smart,
man.
Smart.
Like I had a buddy of mine, big Tar Heel fan, Dante Steele. He hit me up. He's like, "Hey man, I need the Vols to cover." I was like, "Dude, you better go money line. It ain't gonna happen." Because as soon as that guy from Texas pulled up there at the end and shot that three, you knew it was going in, right? Especially as most Tennessee fans, we've endured enough heartbreak over the years at the hands of, well, damn near anybody to know that there's a good chance, a strong chance that we're going to be in a rock fight no matter who it is. We're always going to play up or down to our competition most of the time. And if there's anything that can stress us out during a game, it's going to happen. And again, that happened tonight. I mean, I think we were up at the 4-minute mark. I think Tennessee was up 9. Yeah. And Texas just kept whittling away. And you saw.
There's a very famous book by Brad Gilbert. He's a tennis player and now a tennis commentator. The book is called Winning Ugly. And it's basically Brad Gilbert's like view on tennis and a bit of his life, because he always was like kind of like tennis player with quite like ugly tennis strokes, so to speak. But he found a way to win, and I think this was one game where it's definitely an ugly win. The total didn't even reach. Did we even get cover 110? I don't even remember. But
it didn't. It was an ugly game the whole way.
An ugly game. But look, you're supposed to win ugly games, and I think that to me, I like to see that from a team. I mean, everybody can win when all your players are shooting well. The ball just falls in the basket, nice and easy. Or the other team is just like not playing well at all, so you got easy looks all night. Texas, they gave it to him, right? They did not give him easy looks at all. There were a lot of looks that Tennessee should have gotten in, some missed dunks, things of that nature.
We had a lot of shots down low that Jonas Adu. I can't take anything away from him. He did hit some big free throws there at the end of the game.
Exactly. That's true.
He missed so many but I think buckets right there at the rim, especially in the first half.
Josh, I think the hit in the nuts was really. It's like you have to think about the flow of the game at that point, right? You are you're down 2, right? And you just completely kill the momentum because you
Dude,
just took the guy out.
destroyed
that
the
was the best
guy's.
thing they've done.
Yeah, Jonas destroyed that guy's balls, man. Like I felt bad for him. Like typically, you would, as a ref, you would see the game just can kind of continue. They typically don't call a timeout like that. They just let it run out.
You heard the crack.
It's 5-4, and then you hear the whistle, and it's like, oh man, the ref that was down there that saw that happen, he was just like, oh I gotta stop the damn match, like what's going on? This guy needs to walk it off. He needs to take a lap.
I think the knee came out like a good thing they didn't call anything there, right? Because I mean that's smart, like you don't extend the foot out, right? Like we know if you had a bit of a foot extension, that could have been a foul,
offensive foul, maybe, yeah.
It wasn't a foul, so it was good, But I think that injury definitely changed the flow of the game a little bit, because it did seem like Texas had a bit of that late game momentum, but good. I think I like seeing teams winning in this fashion. This reminds me of my favorite team, the Miami Heat. That find a way to win sometimes when your star player could be shooting 10%, 20% from the which is basically right, like what was happening for Tennessee, right, for majority of the game, right, and you still find a way to win. I think you do give credit to the coach there. I agree, you should give credit there. I also think you should take some credit away, because you had a very comfortable lead for 80% of the match, right?
Yeah.
And you're playing against it. It's like we've seen a lot of games today where teams have just gone on a 3-point chucking spree. Just start chucking threes, maybe some, throwing shit against the wall, maybe it sticks. Teams have found success in that, right? Especially with the way that college basketball works, with the longer possessions, etc. So you can take a lot of shots if you wanted to, right? And then get into the foul game. So teams have been able to find success in that. I think Texas wasn't exactly going for it, but still somehow they found a way to make it a very close one possession game in the end. And I think coaches need to do more to protect the lead in the end. This is what a lot of us have seen throughout this tournament, actually, right? A lot of the favorites that haven't covered yesterday, even today, with NC State, like you have a comfortable lead. If 5 minutes left on the clock, how are you allowing a 9-10 point lead to get down to 2?
Well, I mean, we were three from like I don't know, 3 of 92 from 3-point line tonight. It was insane.
But defense, right? You need. I think you have to. That to me is coaching. Like 3.
I mean, we broke the NCAA tournament record for steals tonight. So yeah, that's good. I'm going to hang on the rim with you on that. But we put in a defensive effort unlike anything you've ever seen. It wasn't so much that our defense stalled, because our defense is what carried us. Our defense didn't stall at the end. It's just we couldn't score, and then they started to score. Yeah. And it was great defense. I mean, we're talking about guys just pulling up and taking contested threes like they did at the end, and they kind of closed the gap. Yeah. And then they were 10 for 10 and for their free throws. So when they went to the line, they hit their free throws, and that helped close the gap. I mean, we're talking about a game. Nobody scored over 60 points either side. So that's what I'm saying. That's small of a margin of just 10 free throws. That closes a gap really, really quick. So I understand you're critiquing there a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I have to critique. You have to walk away with some kind of critique.
The main scheme of the way the basketball game played out and kind of the flow of the game. I would argue that it wasn't so much that Tennessee's defense struggled in the end. I mean, I would say a lot of the things that you could see there was a little bit of fatigue defensively, but I mean, without our defense, we don't win that game. And man, how about Dalton Connect and Jonas Adu just having the absolute gonads of steel there at the end and just drop them and hit their free throws to
That's
close
important.
that
That's
out.
important. That's
I
important.
mean, ice in their veins. They just walked up there. They buried those free throws, and man, Tennessee's moving on to the Sweet 16.
No, I mean, you know, I think this comes to show, you know, again, like those losses, you know, that loss that you lamented over before the tournament, right? It's I think maybe it was a good loss after all, right? I mean, the team still has a lot of character, a lot of grit. Have to give the team that much, you know, that if anything they won because of their character, because of their composure, and it's tough, you know, in the face of you know, a bad shooting night, a night where, you know, all of a sudden the other team is starting to close the gap, and you know, you have the composure and the discipline to not make any mistakes down the stretch, inbound the ball well, shoot your free throws. You know, coaching definitely is of utmost importance there, making those play calls. So that's a good sign. I think that's a good sign. We have to, but you know, what are we thinking about? Does this game give you some confidence back that Tennessee can, you know, cut the net?
I think so. I don't know. Cutting the net. I don't want to tempt the wrath of the thing high above. You know, whatever. To quote one Russell W. Smith. Shout out to Fox Sports Knoxville. I love those guys. And I know they're having a great show right now as well. But that's one of his things. You know, we don't want to tempt that thing high above of whatever to kind of kick us down a peg or two when we think that we've arrived. And I don't want to do that. But I will say tonight's game did make me feel a little bit less anxious when it comes to Tennessee being in a very, like, you know, butthole clenching situation at the end and just not folding, right? Like I've seen Tennessee teams in the past do, and not so far removed from some teams doing that. But yeah, I mean, they didn't falter down the end. They hit their free throws when it mattered. They stepped up and played defense when it mattered. And man, I couldn't be more proud of the team. I mean, you think about it. I mean, back-to-back Sweet 16s. That hasn't happened since Bruce Pearl was here in, I think, 06 and 07. Back-to-back Sweet 16s, and then, you know, and we're the SEC regular season champs, and basically carrying the banner for the conference. I mean, I know A&M and Alabama won their opening round games last night. They got some tough matchups heading into tomorrow. So who knows what will come of, you know, those two games, and if they'll even make the Sweet 16. But Bama, I mean, they scored 100, I think 100 and some points last night.
Yeah,
they did the thing, right? They did the Nate Oates math equation and went and shot a lot of 3-pointers and won. But man, I think to close out your question though, I think we realized who the real Orange belong to tonight and who the real UT is. And yeah, man, might not be cutting down this, but we definitely know who the real UT is, and that's
I agree.
The University of Tennessee.
No, that's a good point. I think because I had another question for you after this in terms of, like, again, you know, we don't want to, you know, and I'm very superstitious when it comes to all these things. So, you know, this all goes with a little grain of salt. But I'm just wondering, like, are you at this point in time having come in with anxiety, right, and the expectations that you had before the tournament, having, you know, beaten, you know, St. Peter, nice and sweet, real nice beat down there, right, took care of business, coming into this game, important game, right, like there was important context to this game too, right, Battle of the Orange,
yeah, absolutely,
and you know, taking care of business in the situation that they were in. You know, poor shooting can come to anybody, but getting this gritty win, do you feel like Tennessee has, you know, like would you be satisfied with sort of like the way this tournament has gone? Like, maybe this is a question of, like, not looking ahead, but as so far.
What are you asking me if I would be a rational Tennessee fan and accept Sweet 16 being a good season? Like, let's say we lose in the Sweet 16. Do you?
I'm not saying that, but let's
just for argument's sake.
Yeah.
Well, no, because I think I've said this throughout, you know, The genesis of Locky Top Sports from the very beginning, since we started this, it was right before conference play. I think our first episode coincided with SEC play opening, and I said my absolute ask from this team was the Final Four. All right, and I'm still there. That's the only thing that's going to please me, make me happy when it comes to this season. But I'll tell you, man, you know, your field goal percentage being 22 of 65, being 33.8%, and then from 3-point lane, you're 3 of 25, and that's 12%. If you can win against a pretty decent Big 12 team, if you can do that with those numbers, anything is possible moving forward. So, yeah, man, I have a little less anxiety, but I never take the cup off. We know that. Never take it off.
So we got Oregon and Creighton in the trenches right now. Another
rock fight.
Another rock fight. Yeah, it's looking tight. It's looking tight. Who do you want to see? Who do you want to see on the court?
I think I want to see Oregon more than I do Creighton.
Why?
I just think we match up better with them. I don't know. Like, Creighton's one of those streaky offensive teams, and if we catch ourselves in a bad offensive performance game like we had tonight, I think Creighton's got our number. I don't think we match up well with them. Oregon doesn't have a big that really worries me as much as well, so I think Jonas could do a lot better against Oregon than Creighton. But again, we'll see how it all shakes out, man. That was a gritty performance again from Jonas tonight. He didn't do stellar in the first half, but again, he closed it out strong there in the second half. But yeah, I think if I had my pick and I was king for the day to make the bracket, I would definitely say I want Oregon over.
No, that's a good point. I mean, you look at I'm just looking at their stats right now. I mean, Creighton is they're 6 of 24. But guys, they're 6 of 24 from the 3-point line, not from just the field goal.
Right.
So you know, if those threes start falling, right, we you know, any team will have a hard time with that. Maybe not Bama, but you know,
Creighton. I would say Creighton and Alabama are very similar.
Yeah,
right? They live and die by that 3-pointer, and they shoot a lot of them. And you know, not to sound pessimistic after a gritty win by the Vols, but let me tell you, Tennessee has a huge track record of making teams that shoot threes look like the Golden State Warriors circa 2015 every time they play.
So all the Vols fans are absolutely just like going at it for the Ducks.
Yeah, let's go Oregon. Bring on the Ducks.
Come on,
I don't want to see. I mean, I don't think Creighton obviously has played a team that is as good defensively as us. But if we have one of those nights, man, and we've seen it against A&M. Mm-hmm. We've seen it against Mississippi State twice. We saw it against Kentucky to close out the regular season. So, you know, you let a team get hot on us, man. We don't necessarily have the scoring ability. I mean, we played strong against St. Peter's, but my God, that was a middle school team. You know, you look at Tennessee's last 7 games. Take out St. Peter's. Look at our scoring. It's not good.
But see, this is the question this is my like eternal question that I have. It's like, when that's happening to you, is that on the coach to then find a way to disrupt the flow of the game, to do something, right? To stop the other team from scoring? I mean, like, look, Golden State, I mean, if we're talking about like the golden years of Golden State, I mean, you can't do much there, right? I mean, you just, the guys were just shooting that three no matter what you did, right? From the logo, from whatever spot, Splash Brothers. I mean, like, this is college, right? I mean, I think you still can do something. You can change up the schemes. You can start, you know, playing some like, you know, weird coverages, right? You know, show them different looks. Maybe start fouling a little more aggressively, right? Like, fuck it, you know, send him to the stripe, right? Don't let him take the three. Make him shoot the free throws, right? Make sure they stop seeing the ball fall through the hoop, right, when they're taking that three. Like, are there things the coach can do, you think, in these situations to a team that just goes hard from the three when we talk about like college basketball?
Yeah, I think so. And I think Rick Barnes does a really great job of the way that he schemes defensively. And I think tonight was a great showing of that. Even though Texas couldn't hit the broadside of a barn tonight, their shooting percentage was atrocious. But I think if you insert what he did schematically, I mean, you think about it. We couldn't buy a 3-pointer. Quality shots weren't falling for Tennessee, but Rick Barnes and his assistants, they schemed around it. They reinforced the confidence in our team, and they devised a way around what Texas was doing. So I think that Rick Barnes, hats off, man. Tip of the cap to Big Rick. He took care of the Longhorns tonight, man. But I will say to just a certain cutoff there of giving all this credit to him. He was coaching against a guy that was his assistant coach for 9 years. So, I think that might have played into it a little bit. And, he could probably, forecast a couple of the adjustments that the head coach from Texas was going to do. Right. So I think that played a part in it. But I also say that he did a great job. He put on a clinic when it came to shutting down and disrupting anything that Texas tried to do offensively all night.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, I think you. I mean, I would love to have played some earlier clips of you talking about Rick Barnes from a week ago, just to like do like a side by side. But that's all right.
Yeah,
that's
man,
all right.
I was burning it down. I agree. 8 days ago, I was burning it down, man.
Yeah, man, I was there picking up the Tennessee banner, the one you were dropping right there.
My battered Vols syndrome was it was in peak performance. Last Friday. I'd already turned the page, but hey, man, they made me believe again. Okay. They brought me back. Yeah.
Horns down,
right.
baby.
Horns down.
It's important to win. I mean, I don't care. I'm Austin, Texas, but I'm the Michigan man, so horns down. We're playing Michigan football like
the girl. The girl is a Texas. She's a Texas alum or a Michigan alum?
Michigan alum. Yeah.
Okay, so no ties to Texas. So the only ties that you really have to Texas is the fact that you live in Austin, huh?
Yep.
Wow. You guys need to give it a rest because I still have some evidence that we could share if we want to, but I'll spare you. I'll spare you tonight from the post game the other night.
That's fair.
Roman has been spotted in the correct orange before.
I mean, only spotted in that. I mean, I can't afford to go see a Texas game here. I've been in 2 years, and the only games I can afford is like 120 degrees, blazing heat up there on the bleachers. Texas playing some fucking local University of like Bastrop.
Right.
That was cool. And it'll still be like $150 a seat, and you're gonna be busy. So I can't even go.
Neyland's 10 times better anyway, man. So Roman's first experience in Neyland Stadium was a touchdown run.
Yeah, it was good.
For 98 yards against Georgia. It was the most euphoric 3 minutes of his life. So I was there. I can attest to it. He had beer just spewing everywhere. He looked like Stone Cold Steve Austin celebrating a win at WrestleMania.
We had such a great pregame. I mean, we had such a great pregame that day. With the just day.
Everything. It was perfect.
You weren't there for the I guess the first half of the day, right? Because you had your
the baby shower going on.
Baby shower, but we played. It was so great. We played this beautiful par 3 course. We show up there at like 7 a.m. There's no one there. We're the first group there. And they almost flipped the cart. It was pretty funny. It was a little like.
It's not shocking.
Yeah, it's not shocking. But I was in the cart with him, but he just had such a steep drop, and it was like there's still a lot of mist out there, so he almost slipped the cart. But in any case, I mean, we were drinking, we were having fun, and we met up for a baby shower. So like by the time I got to the game, I was very, very much tastefully sauced. And then seeing that first touchdown, I was just like, miracle. I'm finally going to a college game where the home team is going to win in a decisive manner.
Yeah, didn't work out.
Heartbreak. Heartbreak.
Yeah, it didn't work out. But hey, man, it worked out tonight. Tennessee takes down the Longhorns, headed to the Sweet 16.
Yeah,
the real UT.
I gotta say thank you to Tennessee and the Texas, because on the gambling front, I told you in the group, like,
is it paying dividends?
It paid. Well, what paid the dividend is that, like, because I'm not, I tuned in. I was like, all right, like I'm, my fiance, she's out with her friends, so I had the house to myself. So
right,
I got the TV on, the beers, everything. So I tuned in, and I'm down bad. I mean, I've been losing by 0.5, by 1 point today, every damn game. I'm like, what am I gonna do now? I'm like, do I just put all my trust on the Tennessee money line? No, on the Tennessee like spread.
Pile.
The money line. I was like, okay, should I put money line? But it's an expensive money line, right? So I'm like, man, I don't know, 6.5. And then I start watching the game. So like the game starts, I'm like, I don't know, what should I bet? And then I witnessed the first 5 minutes
half.
of it.
Did you take first half? Did you
I
take
just
first
half? So the total started at 145, maybe 145.5. I'm just watching what's happening. I'm like, my God, this is going to be a true rock fight. Like, I mean, like scoring 100 here is questionable.
Yeah.
I load up the bookie. The line immediately drops to like 135, 130. Like immediately. I was like, you know what? Doesn't matter. Blast all of it. Man, the game ended at like 110, whatever. So yeah. I gotta say thank you to Tennessee's defense. I gotta say huge thank you for them not to go to overtime, because that's the under killer.
Yes,
you could be like, oh, my under is coming in. And
I don't even know if we survive overtime, because we were in foul trouble. We were in foul trouble really bad. Texas didn't get in the bonus until they intentionally fouled us 3 straight times. There with less than 30 seconds left in the game. So it would have got pretty crazy. We'd probably have some of our bigs foul out.
It got sweaty.
But I'll tell you, that's good that the bet paid off. But we had to sacrifice. Tennessee, Big Orange. We had to sacrifice tonight to the basketball gods. The Vols baseball team dropped a heartbreaker tonight to Ole Miss after we pounded their eyes shut. It was just disheartening to see us lose after we put on the onslaught that we did last night. We gotta circle back and win the rubber match tomorrow with Ole Miss and win the series. But yeah, man, we definitely sacrificed Tony V and the boys to the basketball gods to eke out that win against the Longhorns tonight, and it'll be okay. I think tomorrow the baseball team will figure it out and get the win, to close out the series. Because we can't just go back to back opening SEC conference play with 2 SEC series losses in baseball. So hopefully they'll shake back tomorrow. But man, glad that Tennessee got the job done tonight. Who was your biggest performer tonight? Let me get your thoughts on that, Rome. Who was your biggest performer for Tennessee? Who made the difference?
I'll tell you who. I'm gonna not only I'll tell you who. I'm gonna look at the stats right now, just so we get a very good picture here. I should have actually pulled this up while we talk. Let's see.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you mine. For me,
tell me yours, and I want to get some stats.
I'll stall for you a little bit.
Oh, here we go.
It was Zakai Ziegler. Without Zakai Ziegler tonight, man, Tennessee's toast. Yeah, he did a great job.
Good point. 40 minutes played. 40 minutes played.
For those lay people with basketball, 40 minutes means the entire game.
Yes,
he didn't come out.
He didn't like. This is the guy that like would get your six man of the year type of like awards, right? With
he's SEC defensive player of the year.
Yeah. I mean, 40 minutes. He won 6 points, 2 of 12 field goals, but I can't see the advanced stats like the plus minus on this. Just pulled up the regular March Madness, but yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. The guy is there the entire time. He's taking shots. He's doing what he's got to do. But most assists, right? 7 assists. Got a few rebounds there. And 3 steals. So 7 assists, 3 steals. Sure. Like not too strong shooting, but no one was shooting well. So having taken the shots that he needed to take just to try get his team ahead, having the confidence, is good. So I agree. I do like it. I do like your pick.
What did you think about DK's performance tonight? Don't connect. Kind of a pedestrian night.
Hard to judge. But
right? I mean, there was a couple times he laid down some thunder dunks and just dropped the absolute hammer on some foreheads tonight.
Yeah,
and it kind of changed the momentum.
But look, this is one of those things, right? Where that's the other thing too, right? You have your best player, right? Shitty teams, they're gonna have a hard time like neutralizing that, right? But a good team, or maybe a team is good that's decent defensively, or plays decent defensively that day. They're gonna try to neutralize that one guy, right? That's gonna be their priority number one, right? So I don't want to say they took him out of the game completely, but they absolutely made it like very. I mean, I wasn't impossible, but very difficult for him to play tonight. And still, being the the high scorer, still scoring the most points on the team. Rebounding. It's a good performance. I'd say it's a very good. It's a decent stat line if you just look at the stat line. But I think if you take into consideration the fact that he was the guy that they were absolutely trying to shut down, that I think that when you look at that, it's a
he was really good. He was
really
good
performance in the face of that.
He was getting doubled all night
exactly,
long.
Exactly. Right. That's the thing. Like that's actually I think a measure of a good player in basketball. And really, that's maybe when you go back really old school, with Kobe and Jordan, right? But in modern basketball, a good measure of a good player is that when you're getting double teamed all night, you find a way to get the ball to your other players, right? Because if you're getting double teamed, that means there's one guy open, right?
Yep.
Are you able to take the double team, embrace the pressure that is coming to you, not avoid it, but embrace it. Say, oh, you guys want double team me? Fuck it, double team me. Here, I got the ball. Come at me. Push me around, bump me, like shoulder me. Hit me with the elbow. I'll take the shots so that the rest of my team, guys can be open, guys can be moving, get the ball to their hands, have them scoring the baskets. That's, I think, is a good measure of a great team player and a really great player in modern basketball, where it's not just like, fucking ISO ball all the time, always scoring 80 points, right? It's just like the basketball is not played like that today, It cannot be, right? With the 3-point line, with the kind of like 3-point shooters that you got all over the place, with the type of like, a lot of two-way players that you have. You can't just rely on like one ISO player, just dominating no matter what. You got to have a player that can embrace the pressure, embrace the defense, take it on, put their pride in their back pocket and say, fuck it. You know what? I don't score tonight. That's fine. If my guys score, 20 more points than me and we get the W, that's all that matters.
Yeah, I totally agree. But I'll tell you, man, without Toby Awaka, I don't want to discredit him tonight either. He had a quiet 10 points, but he had 8 of those 10 points in the first half and really set the tone. He got in foul trouble really bad there. He picked up his 4th foul, I think, with like 14-ish minutes left in the second half. They were really, I would say they were really tough on Tobey tonight, but he's historically bad at getting in foul trouble. So I'm not going to blame the refs on that one. He did come in and make a difference for us tonight, and without those 10 points, man, I think we're in trouble. I mean,
absolutely. You gotta set the tone. Definitely. I think that's another good pick. I mean, but you gotta pick the now number 0. Adu, right? I mean,
Jonas Adu. 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 11 points, 32 minutes.
Great stat line. Great stat line. You can see, he and look.
I'd argue though, Tobey Awaka had 11 minutes and he had 10 points.
It's true, but look, the clutch free throw. Like, how about this? In the very end, the clutch free throws, right? What is Texas doing? They're looking at this guy, right? The coaching staff. They're saying, "Look, that's a 60%. That's a 60% free throw shooter.
Foul him.
Yeah, foul him. Foul this guy, right? What does he do? 3 or 4 clutch free throws, gets them in, right? That's huge because if he went, he could have won. Like, we've seen this many times. He could have won 0-4. Fucking hack a Shack, right? Could have gone 0-4, 0-6 down the stretch, shooting free throws, given the putting the ball in the hands of the other team, giving them a chance to even out the score each and every time. Nope, 3 or 4, great, right? A steal, 2 blocks, right? Huge blocks in the game. Rebounding is there, and 11 points, but I think he's done a lot. And look, maybe he lost concentration on a few plays. maybe, right? I mean, but like if things went the other way, if the ball, the wind and the stadium blew a little bit different, maybe he could have had 15, 16 points, right? Because he had a lot of good looks. He had a lot of times where, things just didn't go his way, perhaps. Perhaps he lost a little bit of concentration. But hey, you knock down those clutch free throws as a quote-unquote 60% free throw shooter. That's big. And I can imagine him at that moment feeling like he accomplished something, Like I imagine the pressure and the anxiety and like the fear you have walking up to the line, down 2, down 3. I have to make these fucking free throws. I'm not a good free throw shooter. These guys are fouling me on purpose. Right, like everyone is looking at me right now. If I miss these free throws, what would we be like us or any other show just taking shots at this guy? Can you imagine, right? Like the pressure to do that and to actually get that done. I mean, that one free throw, those 2 free throws for this guy, they're worth a lot. Steph Curry shooting 90% or 85% free throws, whatever, right? But a guy shooting 60% free throws down the stretch where he is the only way for the other team to win is for him to miss. He gets them done. I mean, that's I give a lot of credit to that. I love seeing that. I think that's going to give him a lot of confidence. I hope he takes that into the next game and just into his game in general, and he believes in himself and becomes a fucking 80% free throw shooter going forward.
Yeah, I think that would help. That's definitely going to help his confidence on the free throw line going forward. I would ask that he get a little bit more aggressive when he's taking the ball to the rim. There were a couple of times I'm just like, come on, dude, like you're so freaking big, like
dude, you're large.
Just slam the ball, slam the round thing through the cylinder there with the net below it.
I agree.
All right.
I agree. So
yeah. I don't know if it's one of those things. I was sitting there talking to my wife. She's a basketball expert, and
clearly much better.
I said, why do you think he's so soft at going to the rim? And she's like, well, he probably, until he got to Tennessee, he probably was just the biggest kid, and he didn't have to be very aggressive. And I said, that's probably a really good point. Yeah, I never really thought about it like that. But I'd argue, hey man, you're here now, and that you're this big. Just take it, finish it strong.
Shaq and Charles Barkley, right? They actually bring up this exact point many times when they say, like, look, a guy that is big, and that's what like Shaq loves that, right? It's like when you're big, be big, like
be big, man.
Be big. Don't like. And I can imagine, like, you're the biggest kid. Imagine growing up, right? Like you're the biggest kid. you feel a little awkward. You're like so big relative to the smaller guys, right? Like it stays in your head, right? Like the mental part of it, right? But like once you like you gotta grow into your size. Like you're big, be big, play big. You know, like you know, guys have to definitely get over that hump and embrace their size and embrace what they can do without causing a ruckus, right? Without being like all over the place and causing fouls and just getting fouled out all the time or not making their shots. But yeah, embrace your size and you know gain confidence in that, and you know and anticipate it, right? Like, oh, am I did the defense fuck up here? Am I being defended by a guy that's 6'4", like 6'2"? Yeah. Come on, man, take him to the rim. You know, like those are things you got to be like, you know, seeing, recognizing, and just doing, being like, hey, you know, it ain't no one's fault, you know, but if you happen to have a mismatch and you got a foot on the guy, take him to the rim. Like he can't do much to you, you know, just and be aggressive there, because if anything, the foul's gonna go on him, right? As a smaller player.
You know, the first lady of the Ricker house chimed in and she agrees wholeheartedly. Yeah, exactly. So shout out to the first lady of Locky Top Sports. Thanks for chiming in tonight, babe. You know, she's always right, not only here, but when it comes to her basketball takes. So
yeah, but we've seen that, Josh. I mean,
yeah, always right. Yeah, I mean, she's been fading a lot of people on the. A lot of people being me.
Is she still top of the
bracket? She's in the top half, but I do want to get into that a little bit, right? So we're watching this rock fight between Creighton and Oregon, but you know, I want to go to our CBS Sports bracket, and man. I want to give a couple. I want to give a couple shouts out here. Farmball Sports, and my brother-in-law. You guys have never met this brother-in-law. You've met the other one that is currently 17th in our standings. The Vol brother-in-law, Andrew Julian. Shout out, Andrew.
We gotta meet the one.
I don't know if you're watching or not, but I love you, man. That wasn't a direct shot. That was just. You know, that came out of the side there. And then we got my brother-in-law, Casey O'Neill. He is tied for second place with, you know, Zachary Roth, the big Purdue fan. But Farmball Sports, he's got 29 correct picks, 35 points. And then we got Casey. Wow. Casey O'Neill has 28 correct picks for 33 points. So we won't get into mine. I think I'm tied for 13.
Yeah, I'm just hoping to be the best Locky Top Sports player here. So I just got Andrew Kim.
Andrew Kim. You know, he's circling up there. He's tied for I think there's a 6-way tie for 6th place. So
I should be there. I don't have a point. What's going on?
Yeah, I don't know, man. Down bad. Not nearly as bad as Naveen. He's like tied for 20th place. So yeah, man, that's going to be really cool. So one of those guys is going to win $100, and you know, hold on. So my wife says she's tied for number 5. So I'll get my $100 ready. Just as a disclaimer. Just as a disclaimer, Kayla is not. She doesn't qualify for the $100 cash prize. Okay, she can't win her. I mean, this obviously she is not on the show, but this is kind of her show in a way, right? Vicariously by proxy, right? She can't win the cash prize, but we'll figure out something else for her if she is able to beat me. But yes, her bracket is pretty strong. Pretty strong. Her gambling picks so far on FanDuels have been pretty strong, and yeah, in-house bet. Yeah, that's what she's saying. Yeah, but like Kayla is commenting here, guys. I know we got some viewers out there. I think we're up to like 33 right now. If we want to go ahead and comment, I know a lot of you guys are on X. Sorry, StreamYard, get better. with letting the people on X comment. But if you guys just want to switch over to YouTube, just go to our YouTube channel at Locky Top Sports. You can definitely comment. There's an area there where you can comment and discuss the game with us, and then kind of talk about who I'd like to get the viewers' thoughts on who you would rather see in a matchup, whether it be Creighton or Oregon.
Yeah. I mean, it's still tight. It's still tight.
Yeah, it is a rock fight. If you had to pick right now, who would you rather face? 11 seed Oregon or number 3 seed Creighton?
Listen, seeding in this tournament has been the most sus fucking thing.
Yeah, man. It's almost
like this tournament specifically.
Yeah, it's almost like the bookies came together and they were like, how can we destroy people's wallets? Because all these states are rolling out, gambling now, right? So it's this would be peak time to take care of, the next 20 years of cash flow by getting all these simps to take our same game parlays and stuff like that. We're gonna build it for them. We're gonna make it seem like it's really good. Only simps do predefined SGPs. Would you agree? To that, Roman?
Yeah.
If you're taking a FanDuel SGP, you're not building it yourself. You're doing yourself a disservice. All right, you heard it here from Locky Top Sports.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, it's the
trappiest thing of all traps.
It is. I mean, it's how it's how the bookies afford to pay out. Like when we have a good day, they get to pay us from all the same game parlays.
We're still sitting above 600. Yeah, we're still sitting above 600 batting average.
Yeah,
ATS.
No, look, yeah, don't. Well, as I think as we get in closer to football season, I think we're gonna maybe do a bit of like 10 minutes just dropping the wisdom, for the followers, like what how to do this. Not necessarily to like win and be like, oh man, I'm actually gonna pay my mortgage for this. Like you're not, but how to like do
Naveen, what Naveen was up 5K.
Oh yeah, it was up 5K. But the most important thing about anyone on this pod doing this is like this has been happening for 20 years, So like no one's gone broke, no one's.
Look, I know he has a green screen in his background. Mine's a little blurred, but we do have walls and we have a house.
Yeah, exactly.
We've not lost it all. We've not been beaten down.
That's the most important thing. Like if you do the SGPs, you might not have those walls.
Exactly. Exactly. That's when you start losing it all, bro.
Yeah, exactly. We need to we need to get into like for example, like you see you feel like this is the lock, like this is the thing to do, like put it all on that. Don't go like 15 same game parlays or 15 parlays hoping to hit one, $10 for like 50.
You got to get all those legs, man. It's
not gonna happen. All of them. Long term, you're done. There's math behind it too, right? That you get juiced on every single leg, and so, anyway, we'll get into the details on all of these things. But look, the best advice I can say is like, especially in March, there is another game tomorrow. There is another game the next day.
Just make sure you have some money left. Just make sure you have a little bit of money left to bet on that one tomorrow.
Think about it, right? Like
live to fight another day.
Tomorrow. Yeah, live to see another night. Like live to be betting in March in 10 years. Think about that, right? Like don't get your entire bankroll, don't get your your whole paycheck gone tonight or this week. There is take breaks, take pauses, but very, very, very important not to get sucked into all the bullshit the bookies are throwing at us these days, with the parlay boosters and odds boosters and all this freaking crap that just takes money away from you.
Yeah. I want to get in a couple other games, man. How about NC State? 7 straight games, dude.
Disaster. I lost a lot.
Took out the kitty killers from Oakland. Took out the kitty killers in OT tonight, man. Like, golly. But NC State, man, what's going on? They have literally caught lightning in a bottle.
I mean, look, the thing is, like, they are okay. The way that game went is how, Tennessee's game could have gone worse, because they just, at some point, Oakland just said, all right, we have 2 players. That's all we got. And these guys are just going to take turns chucking 3 up there. There was a stretch. There was a point in time down the stretch on the second half where I think Oakland just made like 6 or 7 threes in a row. I mean, like, just like, maybe they missed, but like the only field goals they had were triples going in. So, I think you got to be better. The coaching staff definitely has to be better to recognize these guys got 2 players shooting threes the entire freaking time. You have to be able to neutralize that. That is a, coaching 101. Like you cannot be a coach if you don't have on the back of your hand a strategy right away. Call a fucking timeout and be like, look, this is what these guys are doing. This is what they've been doing for the last 6-7 minutes of the game. We have to neutralize this. Give the other guys an open lane for a layup, whatever it is. But stop
giving up the 3.
Don't give up the 3 to these 2 dudes who are hot as fuck. Just don't do it. But like, they don't have other dudes. Like, that's the other thing. Like if they had other guys, if they had those 2 guys and a big, that was just like, doing a pick and roll, like whatever. Sure, maybe it's a little bit different, but it didn't have to be that way. They didn't have to go to that OT. And I think they had a much better, they burned me big time, and they burned a lot of people who took
they smashed a lot of brackets tonight, bro.
Today the chalk, right? Like the chalk all day, it's been chalk, right? It's just been the favorites covering. There's a popular narrative right now, right? Like, oh, yesterday it was all the dogs, today it's all the chalk is in. It's been chalk. I mean, it could have been chalk for Vols too, had they not, had the little situation down the stretch. The same thing goes for NC State. I mean, they didn't cover their line by 2 points or whatever. So, but I don't know. I think that I did not like how they played. I did not like how they played. I think Oakland was extremely one-dimensional, very predictable. It was easy to see what they're doing, and I think the coaching staff led the team down to not be able to recognize what type of game is being played by their opponent and just neutralize it and make them play another type of game. Like, there are many different types of game. You can, especially in basketball, you have 5 players. You have many different ways in which you can score, in which you can defend. Make them do different things. Like, I'm sorry, I keep bringing this up, but like Miami Heat coach Spoelstra, he's very famous for just going to zone defense. Like he'll just go play zone defense from time to time. Why? It just throws the other guys off, right? That throws the other guys off, and then he'll play zone for like 5, 6, 7 minutes, but maybe whole quarter, and that will throw the other team off, get them off their rhythm. NC State should have done that. I'm surprised they didn't lose that. There was some questionable refereeing in that game, but I don't have a lot of confidence in NC State the way they've played. I really don't.
So you think they're done in Sweet 16?
I think they're done. I definitely think they're done. I mean, I mean, Colorado or Marquette are markedly better,
way better than anybody they've played so far.
Anybody they've played, and I just like.
But NC State did just beat Carolina. Do you think Carolina's worse than those teams? Those 2 teams you just mentioned.
It's a tournament. I give a lot more credit in the tournament to the player state of mind, to having good role players, and to the coaching. Yeah. And I think maybe on all those 3 points, it's just like I'm not seeing that from NC State. I mean, they had a good win against Texas Tech. But again, like the seeding here. All right, guys, like let's just forget about the seeding, because the seeding has been a joke. Right? We had way too many 11 seed, 12 seed, 13 seed beating their fucking opponent. Like, so the seeding has been a little sus. So I'm not saying NC State is 11 seed versus 6 seed is an upset, But today, I think against Oakland that has literally 2 players, and they were just shooting threes the entire time. I don't buy it. I don't think that's a good. I didn't see anything there. So I'm absolutely 100% fading them the next round for Max. Just fading. Especially Colorado and Marquette, who have shown a little something. I'm interested to see that game. It's a very low spread actually, right? So either of those teams is a good, right? Like that comes to show. Like we can have like, oh, it's a 10 seed versus a 2 seed, but Vegas is saying it's what, like 4.5, right? Or whatever it is. I mean, I can look it up, but it's like a pretty low spread, right? So what does that tell you, right? What does that tell you? So I think I'm not seeing NC State move much further. Who else do you want to cover?
I would like to get your thoughts, and we'll close it up here. We're closing on the hour, but out of the teams that have advanced so far to the Sweet 16, who do you see realistic opportunity to make it to the Final Four? So we currently have North Carolina, Gonzaga, Tennessee. We're missing somebody, right?
Well, Iowa State,
Iowa State.
Well, look, I mean, I think
I'm talking about the ones that are a lock for Sweet 16 so far. The Iowa State win.
Okay. I mean, I don't know. I mean, look, I think North Carolina, Michigan State was a weird game.
For a half, it was really good.
Yeah, but see, like Michigan State dropped the ball big time. I mean, all of a sudden, so I don't know. I think it's hard for me to judge there. I think it's hard for me to judge North Carolina.
What about the Gonzaga, Kentucky, or excuse me,
Gonzaga is a lock. Gonzaga is a lock, and I think that's and I would love to see Gonzaga, Tennessee play.
Me too. I would love to see them play.
I think it could be a great game. I mean,
if Tennessee sees Gonzaga, we're going to the Final Four. Calling my shot right now. Calling the shot right now, big dog. If we see Gonzaga in the Elite Eight, we going to the Final Four.
Boy.
Mark it down.
You heard it here first, guys. You heard it here first.
Yeah.
If Tennessee sees Gonzaga, we're going to the Final Four.
I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry, man. But every time I hear anything about Gonzaga, like it just.
But I think this year
just crickets to me, man.
Like, yeah.
It doesn't
I hear.
Really get the pulse up for me, man.
You have the sound of burning cars and people throwing beer through the windows. That was going to be good for the Texas reaction.
I know, right? No.
Police sirens, like a full riot.
That was just like a whole bunch of craziness, man. Just me going crazy on at the TV, just because we couldn't score a goal. I was just like nonstop. My kids were on the couch, so I had to cover my mouth and just swallow every ounce of that I wanted to say. It just was one of those nights. It was very frustrating. Like it was ugly to watch on the offensive side of the ball for Tennessee. But hey, Tennessee got it done. But like I said, if we see your Zags. I know you don't really pull for them, but you root for them in March. You think that they're going to go far just from a betting perspective.
I mean, I think when Zags are number one, again, I'm looking at the psychology of it a little bit. Like I know people hate.
That's Mark Few. Like I think Rick Barnes has his number, man. We've played really well against Gonzaga. We've played them in like all these neutral site games over the last 3 or 4 years. Like we've kind of had their number. Even going back to
I want to see it. I want to see it. I want to see.
Even going back to the Grant Admiral team, we beat them out in Arizona a couple years ago. So that would be perfect. That would be perfect with Arizona on the line to beat them in the Elite Eight. That would just set up great for Tennessee. I think we match up really well.
No, I mean that's the matchup we want to see. I think that's the match we want to see. I think we want to see. I don't care what happens to Purdue. I don't care if we lose to Utah State. I think Zags have this year. I mean they've always been ranked one, playing garbage schedule, and underachieving. I think this year. So what I talked about too with Tennessee, right? Like getting that pressure off your chest. Ranked 5, but hey, took down Kansas. I mean, I mean, I don't know if we have it in Lucky Top bracket, but a lot of brackets have Kansas going in the Final Four. A lot of brackets have Kansas winning. So, taking them down.
Yeah.
Taking
Rock'em
Kansas down.
Shock'em Jayhawks, they're not dancing no more, man.
And they took them. They beat their ass.
Yeah, they took them behind the woodshed. Like, it wasn't even, and that was one of those weird games too. For a half, like it was tied at halftime, right? Or like a 1-point game or something like that. But then then the second half happened. Like that's all you could say. That's I mean, Gonzaga came out and just laid the hammer down.
Laid the hammer down. I want to see the hammer down on Purdue, and then let's see Gonzaga, Tennessee. I mean, I would love to see that. I think that's the way it's going. To me, that's the way it's going. I see Gonzaga, Tennessee clash. Should be good. And then I mean, real quick. I mean, like Houston looked great. I mean, holy.
I mean, they were playing a 16 seed, but
they looked great. I mean,
we looked amazing against St. Peter's, man.
But I mean, like not just the score. Like I mean, like the way the guys were playing.
So did we. Like we had scoring from top to bottom. Our walk-ons were playing with 3 minutes left in the game. You know what I'm saying? So it was. I mean, the whole bench mob cleared out.
Yeah.
And so when I think of Gonzaga, man, like it's just I'm Stephen A, man. I'm Stephen A on this.
I'm excited for Gonzaga. I'm excited for Bama. I'm excited for Bama. I think Bama is gonna take. I hope so, but I'm pretty sure they're gonna take care of business against Grand Canyon, and I think they're gonna take care of business against North Carolina.
You think Alabama's gonna beat Grand Canyon and Carolina?
I think so. I think Bama. I mean, look. I mean, but they have.
You think Mark Sears is going to carry Alabama all the way to the Final Four?
Look, they're playing a certain brand of basketball, right? And the thing is, like if this brand of basketball stops working, they're done for. But again,
there's only one brand of Alabama basketball, and that's it. That's what they like to do out there.
Right. But I who knows? It's an experiment. I mean, Alabama basketball itself, right? Like, guys, like 5 years ago, does Alabama basketball exist? Is that a fucking thing? It's not. So the whole Alabama basketball program in itself is a bit of an experiment. It's interesting. I don't know,
man. They just like to shoot a bunch of threes and then the extracurricular stuff that they do off the court, man. I just don't have a lot of respect for Alabama, man. I think their team chemistry is bad.
But Josh, it's the same thing.
They run a gimmick offense. They're Nate Oates. It doesn't impress me very much.
I mean, look, these aren't the Golden State, but like that's what people said about the Golden State too, right? I mean, like people said, oh, it's a gimmicky fucking offense, right? Just shoot threes, but they're embracing that certain brand of basketball, which hasn't been the brand of basketball that college basketball falls into or like is suited for because the rules are different, right? You have a bit different rules, right? You have different play style that's been part of the college basketball. Sort of. I don't want to overuse the word brand of basketball, but the way that college basketball is different from NBA.
Sure.
But they're embracing more of an NBA style of play, so it's interesting to see. I think maybe a good coach, a good team defensively, a team that can has good two-way defenders, good size, can completely disrupt that and destroy that. So we have to see it. But I'm
thinking Alabama is going to make Final Four. What about you think?
Well, I know about Final Four. I mean, but like I haven't paid too much attention to Arizona, Clemson, Baylor. Like, so I can't.
Arizona played really well.
But they played. But Arizona played nobody twice.
I mean, you can only play who they put in front of you, man. You know what I
mean? I hate that argument. Yeah, sure.
I'm not arguing it. I'm just telling you. I'm not saying they're good or bad. I really think Arizona. I think Arizona's a fraud. I don't think they were always in the conversation with us in Carolina to get the 1 seed. Obviously, they gave it to Carolina over us in Zona, but. They're from the WAC-12.
WAC-12, exactly. Yeah, and Arizona played nobody, so I don't like that. I think. Well, here's what I'll tell you. I think every single team you look at now they played somebody, they got something done, right? Even NC State, Oakland. Like you look at these teams. Well, okay. I'm saying like not taking Houston, UConn, whatever. Those guys haven't done, but like everybody else, Tennessee tonight, like Oregon, Creighton, that's a battle. Gonzaga, Kansas, that's a statement.
Hold on just a second, man. We got 19 seconds left.
Yeah, I mean
Oregon and Creighton.
Yeah. So, we got 90 seconds.
12 seconds.
Wait a minute. What's the score?
62.
62. We're going to OT, brother.
Creighton just tied it up. 7 seconds to go. It looks like they're going to overtime.
OT tonight. OT tonight.
Oregon.
Listen, I'm
going overtime. Oh man.
Overtime?
Overtime.
It is. I just turned it on. What happened? Oregon,
Creighton going to OT, bro.
Oh, you got it? Yeah. All right, OT. Look, that's a battle. That's a statement. I can't say that about Arizona. I can't say that anything they've done in the last 2 games. I think maybe they're great. Maybe they're going to fucking win. I know there are people who have them in their brackets winning too. Who the fuck knows? But all I'm saying, aside from every other team that is in the Sweet 16, they haven't done jack shit. Like, not a single battle, not a single statement, not anything. Like, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if Baylor comes out and whoops their ass all the way back to the West Coast or whatever. Like,
Baylor's tough, man. They've been
they've
been playing down the Big 12. Big 12's been pretty good all year. So
yeah. I would not. It would if Baylor wins by 40.
Baylor, Houston, and Iowa State. Those are the 3 teams, man. You really got to look out for.
Yeah, I want to see Bama, Baylor. That's what I want to see. I don't know about Final Four, man. It's hard, man. Like, honestly, it's very hard. Like, okay, you can say. I think Purdue is. I'm gonna maintain it. I think Purdue is fake, but whatever.
Do you think they win tomorrow?
I don't even know if they're gonna win tomorrow. I don't even know. But look, let's say you're very confident on this one, but let's say it's even Tennessee Zaga, right? I don't know. It's a tough one. What if it's what if it's Baylor Bama or Baylor North Carolina? I don't know, man. The Final Four is hard. I think like the way that this is converging right now, even if no matter what you choose for your Elite Eight, like it's very hard to pick the Final Four. I think whoever you have in the Elite Eight, no matter
if you had to go, I'm not asking for spreads, but if you had to pick teams right now that we're over halfway through the second round, is there any teams that stick out to you so far that you're just like, yeah, man, they're a lock for Final Four?
No,
other than Tennessee,
not tonight. Just not
other than Tennessee, right?
Other than Tennessee. The reason it's not tonight is because the following. I can go through all of the big ones. UConn haven't played anybody, so I can't say right now. Unfortunately, they looked good, but against Stetson, come on. Houston, same fucking story. Haven't played anybody. Let's see what they do against A&M. Zaga looks good to me. But they do.
I think they beat a paper tiger in Kansas.
Maybe, but they do have to get through Purdue, and then they're gonna have to get through like Tennessee, right? Arizona looks fake to me. I'm not even sure if they're gonna get through Baylor. Maybe
Baylor's gonna massacre them.
I think after tomorrow, even after the Sweet 16, it's gonna be tough to say. I think, man, like it's hard. I couldn't. Honestly, I'm being very honest with you. No matter who you put in the Elite Eight right now, I couldn't tell you out of those teams for sure with a lot of confidence was going to make the Final Four. It's a very interesting tournament.
Very
interesting tournament. I think it's wide. I think it's wide open, completely wide open.
Last thought here on the tournament before we wrap it up. Which region so far do you think has been the toughest?
I mean, I think definitely.
I think it's a toss-up between the South and the Midwest.
Yeah. I mean, just because of Houston,
that right side of the bracket your national champions coming out of the right side of the bracket.
Probably. Yeah, because yeah, like if you just look at it, it's really well, Iowa State today, man. Brother, like fucking nasty game today. Nasty game today. I don't know. A little smelly. I had to hold my nose the entire time I was looking at it. So yeah, I have to agree with you there. The right side of the bracket looks quite strong. So I think the winner is coming from there, and maybe that winner is wearing orange, man.
The right orange. That's right.
And now we know the right and only.
That's right. All right, fellas. Well, I appreciate Roman coming on tonight. We were missing some key players tonight. I know they had competing requirements, but we still came on tonight, and we basked in the glory, the bright glow that shines so bright from the Appalachian Mountains in East Tennessee all the way down to Austin, Texas. It shines so bright. It's so big and bright and orange. And it's this shade of orange, the right orange, the real UT representing tonight. Tennessee beating the Longhorns of Texas 62-58. Maybe next year, try again, Texas. But we'll march on to Detroit against either Oregon or Creighton, who is deadlocked in a 1-point game right now with 2:17 left to go in overtime.
Jeez. Tune in, boys. Tune in.
Yeah, tune on in. So we're going to do a couple more shows, throughout March Madness. Be sure to tune in. Please like and subscribe our YouTube channel. That way you can comment. We're working with StreamYard to get us to where our viewers, because that's where we're getting most of our people watching us from, to be able to comment. We appreciate all of you guys tuning in tonight. Huge win for Tennessee. Love to see it. SEC champs, back-to-back Sweet 16 in 15 plus years for the Vols. And man, it feels great to be a winner. So for Roman, that's right. Great to be a Tennessee Vol. But for Roman, for Josh, for all Lucky Top Sports, I appreciate you guys tuning in tonight. Please like, subscribe, comment. Let us know what you like, what you don't like, and we're going to try to make it better each time. So have a great night. Go Vols, and horns down, baby.
Them horns are down, boys. Them horns are down.